I think transition was going to be an important issue because this was going to be a first transition away from any of the founders to run the company. So yes, it was going to be one of the perhaps the most important transition in that respect. But more than that transition, which is still some time away, was the fact, or was at least our observation, that as I said, company has, faced a lot of challenges in delivering even some of the existing projects because of that exodus of talent that has taken place over the years. And I think, and the employee morale, most importantly, in our view, has not been the kind of levels that Infosys, had, and I think that needed to change. And I think this is why perhaps Narayana Murthy has come back.
Well, I think I'm totally delighted because Mr. Murthy obviously is one of the visionaries of the IT industry. He really built Infosys to what is something we're all very proud of. And I think with him at the helm, it's good for the industry, it's good for the overall image, and I think it's absolutely fantastic for Infosys. See, I've been very closely associated with Mr. Murthy. I mean, in a sense, he's been a mentor to me in many occasions. In fact, when I was chairman of NASSCOM, we were on a committee together, and I still remember the brand of leadership he displays, whether it's leading a delegation, leading a committee, of course, leading a company. He's very forthright, gets all the data, builds the big plan, sees the big picture. And I think what he can really bring to the table today in Infosys is to probably build a new vision of leadership for the company. I mean, it was clearly getting there. And I have no doubt whatsoever that whoever be the CEO, Narayana Murthy as executive chairman will really take this to a new level of both ambition and success.
Well, we really welcome back Mr. Murthy to our fold. We were kind of missing him, and it's good. He's an iconic figure, and it's good to have at this juncture, both for Infosys and for the industry, to have Mr. Murthy back. And I'm quite sure as he provides leadership to Infosys and the industry, I think all of us will gain in the process. So we really want to welcome back Mr. Murthy into our fold. I think companies like Infosys are fundamentally very strong. It's just about a phase of change that's going on. I think some companies have done it earlier. Some companies are in the process of making that change. So I think to provide leadership and stewardship by the promoter who knows the ethos of the organization, I think for him to come back at this stage, I think augurs well, both, as I said, for the company and for the industry as well. He has, Infosys has always had a first mover advantage in many ways, and Mr. Murthy was at the helm of affairs at that time. And I think this is not the first time in history of corporate affairs where, senior executives have come back to take charge when they were needed most. So I would think it augurs well.
Well, it's a very, very welcome development. And I think Mr. Narayana Murthy has thought this through very, very carefully before taking such a difficult decision. Because, Mr. Murthy is someone who's so principled that it has really, really been very unexpected. And it is a demand that he has basically, risen to because of the way the company has been perceived in the last few years since him stepping down. I think it basically tells you what an intricate business Infosys is. And I think Mr. Kamath has been very gracious about the fact that he acknowledges and recognizes that it will take someone like Mr. Narayana Murthy to come back and restore Infosys to its old position.
In a way, one can say was expected. If you had been in Infosys Power Circles or connected to that, you knew that this was coming in. So personally, I'm not very surprised with this. Also, I feel that last few months, Mr. Murthy's connection with the company was not that hands-off, which, was talked about when he stepped down from chairmanship. Besides the point, I think three areas where Infosys today was facing serious challenges, apart from the common industry challenges like visa, immigration, etc. Point number one was employees. Attrition was skyrocketing. Employees' motivation was down. We were seeing on the client side issues. I believe immediately, or that as an immediate outcome of the change in organization, I think employee morale and motivation surely will see a good change. We will see that possibly very quickly. Second set of challenge that Infosys had is on client acquisition and the growth. Now, Mr. Murthy is experienced. He knows the industry so well. He has run this organization. So one has to see how the strategies evolve, how they extend their, sales and marketing initiative or all client-facing role. So on the second front of challenge, one has to see how this evolves over the period. And one can be hopeful that, Mr. Murthy can bring in that positiveness to the strategy and client acquisition as he comes back. But I'm not going to jump my gun right away now. I'll watch how it evolves, how it changes its strategies, especially on investments like sales and marketing, investments like account management, and so on and so forth. Point number 3, I think, investor and overall market from valuation perspective, I believe that possibility will see again, good change. However, at the end of the day, for investor, the next quarter's number has to look good. That's matter more. But in the immediate future, that also will be positive note. As far as I'm concerned, Offshore Insights is concerned, we are really client trustees. So we really are going to watch how it will impact value proposition, strategy of going to the market, and actual value to client, how it will change and how the client traction will change.
I think Mr. Murthy coming back into Infosys would augur positively for the company. Like, some of your other panelists have mentioned, he is a leader who has enormous credibility, enormous respect. And I think there are 2 unique advantages that he has. I think his ability to put together a great strategy, align the organization behind that strategy, and the fact that he's one of the earliest proponents of a performance-oriented culture. So those are the things that the organization now needs to bring growth back into the organization, and I think it is a positive for the company.